So next piece is covering Challos. It is well known that on Shabbos table is said, the Lechem Mishneh are covered with a cloth. Two reasons are given in the commentaries. First, bread would generally have precedence over the wine in a regular sequence of Brachos. We cover the Challah, so it should not be insulted when wine is used first. Okay, so let's try to understand. So when it's only on Shabbos and holidays, not in all other occasions, right? It's only exception when you need to do a Kiddush. So Kiddush you do over the wine, right? So right. So in all of these cases, when you do Kiddush all of the wine, so you must cover Challah. Why are you covering Challah? Because usually it's not the orders. For example, if you have a family gathering and you want to drink some wine, for example, right? So you would go wash your hands for bread, right? Do muktzeh, and then if you want to drink wine, so you say separate blessing during the meal, because the bread does not cover wine, right? But in this case, so because bread is more proper, is more not proper, is more important than wine, more, right? But since here it's obligation, we cannot start eating bread until we make a Kiddush. So it's like in some sense we are forced. So, and not to insult bread, insult in double quotes, but right, we start to be very concerned with right, with even objects, inanimate objects feelings. So needless to say, how much we must be careful with the people's feeling, right? Not to insult people, not to put them in a comfortable situation, right? So we cover this wine. This bread, and after we made the blessing of hamotzi, we uncover it. But until we finish the blessing, we do not uncover it. So that's the first reason, not to insult. Second, it is a remembrance of man in a midbar, which was covered with the layers of dew. Right? Some poskim write that the challah does not need to be covered at Seudah Shlishis, since the Kiddush is not recited at the meal. Okay, so and let's discuss the second reason. So in a desert, of course, the man was, as we said, on a floor, on the ground, right? So if you put something on the ground, it's going to get dirty. So Hashem, what he did a layer of dew on the ground, man on top, and on top of it, it was covered with a layer of dew. That's why it's proper to have a plate or something like they sell a challah boards or whatever you do. You don't have challah boards. You can use plate. There is no problem. So to put some on a table, right? Let's say board, challah board or plate. Put challah and on top, and then on top you cover. So it resembles how the man was in the desert. Right, and the last sentence that he said in the last meal, like after mincha or like in afternoon meal, this the third meal, we do not cover challah because there is no wine. Even though some people say very minority opinion that you should say kiddush, but let them say kiddush. Like general approach, we do not say kiddush. We just eat meal and that's it. Okay. Continue. The challah should be covered on the bottom as well, since the dew was also beneath man. Okay, one may rely on tablecloth to serve as a layer underneath the challah. Very interesting. So since there is such opinion, so of course, as we said before, you can rely on these opinions. If you don't have a plate, you don't have a challah board, whatever reason, so this tablecloth, it's not part of the table, so it's not exactly on the ground, right? So you can use as a tablecloth as a bottom layer. But where are you going to cut this challah? That's a different question. I mean, you're not going to cut it on tablecloth, I hope. Okay.